Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Fle Fly Outdoor Brands. If I can get my camera to set up here, I'm going to show you a little bit of live crappie action on New Year's Day. We been catching some crappie here on the docks, and I just want to give you some tips about catching some. Hopefully I'll catch another one. I've caught 3. I'm going to show you what lure I'm using and what jig heads I'm using, and show you a little bit about how we're fishing some of these slips. You know, a lot of people struggle to catch crappie around boat docks, and I'm going to walk over here in just a second and talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing. Now hopefully you can see me. I might need to move this out of the way. So you kind of watch what I'm doing. Today I'm fishing with the purple and pink 2-inch crappie kicker, and if you've never fished with a crappie kicker, you'll notice that the tail is always twitching on one of these. It's a little short, very thin ribbon-like tail that you just can't hold still. And I've got this attached to a 16th ounce big eye jig head, and this is very sharp, super strong, American-made hooks, American-made plastics. I'm using a 6-pound like a fire line type of a braided line, and I've got the crappie are pretty deep right now, so I've got a split shot on here. You can kind of take a look at the setup, get kind of a close-up. Now I can't see what I'm doing here, so hopefully you kind of see a little bit about this, and I make sure I'm still going, and then I'm going to walk over and start fishing. Okay, now we've got some plastic fish shelters in this dock, and right now this fish are really deep. I've been going down, I've been letting my bait fall a little ways, and then I'm going to pull it out. I'm probably pulling 10 or 12, maybe 15 feet out right there. And today it seemed like the crappie have not really wanted a lot of movement. I kind of isolated them, or I found them for a second, and all the hits I got, I was actually just holding the bait still or just barely twitching it. And if I have to do anything else, I'm just going to reel it up real slow. My luck, I'll get this live feed going, and they've moved on me. But I caught 2 short fish, and then I caught one that was about 11 inches. This one doesn't feel like a keeper, but all I did was made a fast little twitch, just like that, shook that tail, and I had one hit it. Now that's not a keeper, but the lake is full of a lot of crappie like this right now, and I think a lot of times people try to do too much about crappie fishing. My good friend Mark McGuire says don't beg them to bite. A lot of truth in that, and there's I think a lot of times people try to do too much with their jigs. These crappie kickers are designed to move. They're designed to move all the time, so you don't have to do a whole lot of moving to move your bait down there. Let's go back down there and see if we can get about the same spot. I'm going to let it fall. It's falling down through that PVC, and then I'm going to make a pull and just let it fall. And I'm using that split shot because we're fishing so deep. The water's cold right now, and you don't have to do too much. Even when I start to move this, it's just a small little twitch. And let's see if I can reel up. This is one of my favorite techniques, is to just kind of reel up real slow and twitch it just a little bit. I might not have let it went quite deep enough that time. Now I'm using a 6-foot high standard carbon rod, very high. There was a hit. Very high in carbon fiber material, and he pulled my skirt down. A lot of these little fish are pulling the skirts down, and this line that has no stretch in it right here really helps you feel the strikes. It helps you feel the bites. I'm going to move over to another little spot here, go down about the same depth, let it fall, and just pull out a whole bunch of line. That's probably, like I said, every bit of 10 or 12 feet. A lot of people got cabin fever right now and they can't fish, and Oh, it's beautiful here in Oklahoma right now, so we buzzed down here to check on the boat, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to see if there's any crappie smacking. That felt like a pretty small fish. The other thing I did to figure out how deep I was, and this is a lot easier to do with a split shot on it, guys, and a heavy jig head, is actually wherever you caught that fish, when I first got down here, I reeled up after I missed the fish, and I reeled up and I was 15 turns. So I'm going to go back down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Somewhere right in there is where my fish were at. And so I kind of knew how deep I was at when I got my first bite. But you can't do that unless you got a lot of weight on your jig, or you'll have a big backlash here in your spool. A lot of little fish in the lake right now. The lake really hasn't got all that cold yet. The water's cold, but not as cold as it could be for this time of year. Some years we got ice on the water right now. Another thing you always want to do when you walk down on a dock, this big marina dock we got right here, one of the things you want to do is you want to look for shady places. You don't want to fish directly in the sunlight unless you know there's a lot of structure and a lot of brush down there. And the shade, the crappie like the shade. They like the dark spots, and that's what we like to fish. There's a good one. Now see, I didn't even have to move that. I dropped it down, bam. I wasn't doing anything special with that one right there. Nice big old Grand Lake crappie. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I'm not keeping any today. The wife and I are just out running around. She's over there enjoying herself in the sun. And I'm going to keep crappie fishing. But we hope sometime when you're in the market to buy some lures that you'll give the crappie kickers a try. We developed them with a minnow-like body and a nice little flexible tail there. We've also developed the big-eye jig heads to match all 4 sizes of crappie kickers. We have 4 sizes of kickers. We have 4 sizes of big-eye jig heads. And I appreciate you watching the live feed here from Grand Lake on New Year's Eve with me. I'm Jeff with Fle Fly. You can find us at flefly.com. Cabela's now has the crappie kickers. Bass Pro and Cabela's have, and Walmart.com and Amazon all have crappie kickers and go-go minnows. And there's lots of independent dealers around the country, too many for me to list right now. So go to our dealer network link at flefly.com and find some of this. Have a great New Year, everybody.